American Football Institute Sports Channel with former National Football League defensive tackle and now an NFL consultant, Chris Mamalanga.
Hello, how you doing? This is Chris Mamalanga. I'm your host tonight for the American Football Institute. Tonight on our show, we have a very special guest, and for those of you who have never joined us, we thank you. Thank you for joining our show tonight. And one of the biggest goals for us is to provide great information on a local level, as well as a domestic and international level of some of the journeys to success, stories, and strategies for how to maximize your American football opportunities. Tonight we have a very special guest. I'm super excited. Somebody who was part of the beginning of when I decided to go into the space of high school football here in the United States. The very first high school that allowed me to sort of be a consultant for them. And actually I coached at this particular school, and this school had a lot of my friends who were there. The head coach was actually my quarterback in high school at Bishop Montgomery High School, but the high school I'm referring to is Junipero Serra High School in Gardena, California. Now there's 3 Serras in California that I know about. There's the Serra San Mateo, where Tom Brady and Barry Bonds attended. And then we have Serra Gardena. The one that Tom Brady and Barry Bonds attended is in San Mateo, Northern California, the Bay Area. Gardena, California, Serra High School is in Southern California, right outside of LA, near LAX and Inglewood, California. And there's another one in South Orange County, and they call themselves J Serra. And so without further ado, please allow me to introduce to you Siosiua, also known as Josh Finau, somebody who I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and I'm very proud of, because I've seen his journey. I've seen his struggles over the years and his ability to overcome that adversity in his life. And please welcome to the show, Josh Finau. Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, thank you for making it on the show tonight, man. How
I
you
appreciate
doing?
that. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Man, I'm just thankful for another day and another chance to serve and to continue doing what we love. And anytime we talk about football, especially with folks like yourself, because I know you're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
You know it.
Football is just in your blood.
Exactly.
And I don't want to steal your thunder. I don't want to steal your thunder. I'd like for you to please kind of share a little bit about yourself and your background, if you would, please.
Yeah, for sure. Again, before I get started, I just want to thank you, Chris, for the opportunity to be here with you guys today. And
Yes, sir.
with that being said, as you mentioned, my name is Josh Finau. I was born in Inglewood, raised in the South Bay, and was just blessed with many opportunities that you presented me, Chris, as far as being able to utilize American football to further myself, further my family, and just be the person that I am today. I was, as you mentioned, I was fortunate enough to be there in the beginning and play at Serra High School, where we all started as young Tongan Americans trying to make it. We were blessed with that opportunity to play at that Catholic school, Serra High School in Gardena. Once I completed Serra High School, I was able to go to the next level, which was not a level that everyone hears about, not a level that everybody really wants to go to. But I was fortunate enough to still have the opportunity to play at a community college, Cerritos College in Norwalk. I spent 2 years there, just finding myself and still looking for that opportunity through football. And then once I spent that time at Cerritos, I was then able to take my talents to Baker University in the state of Kansas, which was a complete culture shock being from LA and growing up in LA. And as you know, it was just different. But the opportunity was great. I was able to again find myself in a new state, through football, and here I am today. I was granted the opportunity to graduate from Baker University with a bachelor's in sociology, and and use that to my advantage through football, uh, just to get to where I'm at now as a facilitator with mental health. So football has been great to me. It's been a blessing. It's been that ultimate opportunity that you provided for me, um, and here I am today.
Wow. Yeah, and I'd like to dig a little bit deeper, Josh. Let's back up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about your
Yeah, yeah,
family. I'd like for you to share your parents and kind of that journey and how you ended up born and raised in Inglewood, California and Lawndale, California in the South Bay
yep,
of
yep.
LA.
Yeah, my parents, my dad is Willie, my mom Sophia Finau. They migrated here from the island of Tonga, and put us here. And as you mentioned, I was born in Inglewood, uh, and I could actually say that I was born in Sentinel Hospital in Inglewood, and my family just ventured all throughout the South Bay, Culver City, Hawthorne, and now we're in Lawndale currently. But just for my family to migrate here, and for me to really utilize the opportunities that we do have here through football was amazing for not only for myself but for my family as well.
Right, nice. So you're an LA boy through and through. I
For
didn't
sure.
realize you were born you were born at Centinela Hospital. You know,
Yes,
when the
sir.
when the LA Lakers used to play at the Forum back in the day, Centinela
Yep,
Hospital
yep.
was where they used to get treated and get all their PT and stuff like that. So that's a pretty
Exactly.
cool piece of that I just learned. Well, Josh, listen, we have a few questions that we put together, and we'd like to go through these questions. We're going to have the questions posted on our page here for not only for you and I to see, but for our audience to see. And we'll run through these questions a little bit, and without further ado, let's get started. Let's go with the first question, please. Who was your inspiration to begin playing American football?
Honestly, and it's funny sitting here with you, Chris. You were really the main inspiration uh, to play football, along with the Dallas Cowboys. But that's another story for another day. But you being who you were, and playing in the league and growing up, learning about how your journey through football, and how far you made it, that was very much an inspiration moving forward on and wanting to play football. And with that being said, not only seeing you, it was more so the opportunities that you had with football. So really, the inspiration was to to get those opportunities myself and be able to utilize those opportunities um, to my benefit, and that's exactly what football has given me. Really,
That's awesome, Josh. One of the things that I like to share with most anyone who's willing to listen to me go on and on about football is the fact that we want to use football as a vehicle. We don't want football to use
exactly,
us.
exactly.
And we're more than just a player, right? You hear that a lot
Yep.
nowadays, in a lot of different areas. But to watch you maximize that opportunity to earn, a college education with a
Right.
degree, I think is phenomenal. And congratulations on your success so far. We'll go
No, I
on to the
appreciate
next question, Josh. What are some of the things that caused you to love American football? Was there anything in particular that you can think of that, I see you with your post, there's always like this ugly blue and silver star that's everywhere in
it.
your in your social
Funny,
media.
yeah,
So
it's funny you mentioned that. Right on my desk, we got our my mouse pad.
I know all my Dallas Cowboy fans will be clapping for this LA boy who's a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan.
For sure. But going to the question, really, um, some of the things that I love is it goes back to what I just mentioned during the first question. Just I love the opportunity that football provides you. I love the life lessons that football provides you. um, as well as being able to be physical with others. Like you get to release yourself and be who you want to be on the football field and really use that to your advantage. But I really enjoyed the opportunities. I really enjoyed the lifelong lessons that I still have with me today. Everything that I went through throughout my football journey is used uh, daily throughout my life, and that really speaks volume to what American football could really do for us. There's really there's a quote from Vince Lombardi that I really like, and I don't know it word for word, but it's something to where life is or football is pretty much like life. Like you got to be disciplined, you got to have perseverance, hard work, sacrifice. And that all translates into life. You gotta be disciplined throughout your life. You gotta be able to persevere. You gotta work hard, and really that's what I really enjoyed about football and my journey throughout football.
Right. That's great, Josh. And you know, a lot of people don't understand kind of how great the teams that you led as a captain
Oh yeah,
in high school at Sarah High School. You guys actually beat Oaks Christian.
yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I was there to witness that. You know, that
Yeah,
was
that was fun.
you know Joe Montana. Was it Joe Montana's son was the quarterback?
Joe Montana's son was a quarterback.
Will
Will
Smith's
Smith.
son was a receiver.
Yeah, Will
The
Smith's
actor Will
son.
Smith was a receiver, and those guys were pretty good. But
Yep, yep.
can you share with us some of the players that you played with at Sarah High School who went on to reach some of the highest levels of college and pro football?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think the main one that everybody would know is the Super Bowl champion himself for the LA Rams, Robert Woods. I was blessed
Robert
to
Woods,
be in.
receiver Robert Woods.
Yep,
He was
yep,
a heck of a player in high school and
yep, yep.
obviously USC and also at
With
the
the
LA
Rams.
Rams. You know,
Yep, yep.
got him a chip for the Rams and a ring,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. It was unfortunate that he had his injuries this year and he wasn't able to play, but
Yeah,
nonetheless, he's a Super Bowl champion. I was able to play with Marquise Lee, who's currently a free
Marquise
agent,
Lee.
but he's a LA boy through and through. SC um, played for a couple teams. Um, who else? George Farmer. He's a
George Farmer.
NFL guy.
I know his
Benet,
dad, George Farmer's dad, is also was also in the NFL.
exactly. So I was blessed to play with him. Benet Ben Wickery. He was hell of a defensive back.
Benet, I forgot about
Yeah,
Benet.
Benet.
Yeah, hell of a defensive back.
You got
Yeah.
Paul Richardson was on that team too.
Paul still playing? Is he in the league still?
He's a free agent now too.
Yeah.
But they
But
all they all
he
put in
became
their they
vested.
paid their dues. Yeah, they all paid their dues and
Yeah.
were in the
Duke,
league
you
for a
had
couple years. Duke,
Duke
yeah, Duke
Nacho.
Nacho. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
plenty of guys that came out of there that we were fortunate enough to play
Yeah.
with. So yeah, that was fun.
Do you still follow Sarah and I know they just
Yep.
they
Yeah.
hadn't won in a long time and
Wow. It's been a
since
couple years.
kind of you guys' days.
Right.
And then last year I believe they won a state championship again, Division
Yes,
Two,
yeah,
and
State, yeah. Which
CIF also.
yeah, I was fortunate enough to go to a couple games and I was at the CIF game. But I always try to remind them like when we won in 2009, we actually went 15-0, winning CIF and state. So it was a major accomplishment to go all 15 games and not lose. So that was pretty cool.
Of course, you had to mention that you guys had the 15-0 record,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. Like I mean, sure you guys won CIF and state, and so did we. But that's just that's just what it is.
Yeah, Scott Altenberg and his crew over there. My good friend Jason Sands is still there.
Yep,
You
yep.
know, that whole crew, they do a good job. I know Josh Dabbs. You know,
Yep, yep. Coach Chuck's still
some great
there.
memories, and Coach Chuck is still there. You guys put in some work. You guys did some good stuff over there. We'll go on to our next question, Josh. What
Yep.
does a typical day in the life of a footballer look like? And kind of what we're talking about is we want parents and kids to understand, what kind of structure it takes to be successful in football and kind of like the time management. And can you give us a snapshot of, what the schedule is looking like and what kind of, time commitment is needed to be successful in American football?
Yeah, for sure. And you really mentioned it. You mentioned it. Structure, and that's what it is. A football player's life is full of structure. You from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, it's football. And you wake up in the morning. You got weights, or you may have study sessions in the morning, and then followed by some meetings. And then once you complete your meetings, you'll have your classes in between. Once you complete your classes, or maybe even in between classes, you'll have some more meetings. And once the school day is complete, you'll then have some more meetings. It really just consumes your day, and then those meetings will then lead into practice, and then at the end of the practice, you may have some cool downs, and then maybe even more meetings. And really, the structure, it it seems like a lot, but the structure really it makes your day flow. It allows you to get what you need done, and it creates that discipline and the work ethic not only needed for football, but that work ethic rather can then translate into the classroom, or whatever it is you may be doing when you're not consumed by football. So
Right. And then, I mean, within football, and we're talking about high school or college here?
more so college, and high school is a
College,
little,
right?
yeah. And high school is a little more lenient.
Right.
Um, but as far as college wise, football really does consume your life, and keeps you on your toes, and keeps your day moving really.
Yeah, and that's a great point you make about the structure. A lot of folks will say, well, you know, football players who are on scholarship, they got it made. But in
Right.
reality, in reality, uh, you earn that scholarship
Exactly.
by giving them 100
Mhm.
hours a week.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
It
so
ain't
it's not
easy.
like it ain't easy. It's
No,
simple, but it's not easy, right?
you're right. No, for sure.
And that's I appreciate you sharing that because a lot of folks, they're focused on the glitz and the glamour
Exactly. And that it ain't always that.
that they watch when they see an NFL team or a college team or you know no that's the end that's the final product you're watching,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. There's
You
so
don't
many.
see all the hours of study of film and treatment.
Yep. Yep. The behind the scenes is
There's so
crazy.
many aspects to it.
No doubt.
Yeah, I share with people a lot that the toughest part is the off season. You know,
No doubt.
the off season is when you're really grinding. The
Hmm.
season it's like almost like a relief. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. Like during the season is you already know what's expected. You already know the things that need to be done. During the off season, you putting on the long hours during the off season. That way, you already know what to expect during the regular season.
Right.
So
Thank you for sharing that. We're going to our next question, Josh. Did you have something else you wanted to share?
no, that's good.
Uh, what type of strategies would you say would be good to use to get an edge over your opponents? You kind of mentioned some of them, like film work, but is there anything that sticks out in your mind of some of the things that kind of gave you an edge as a football player?
Really, just being disciplined. I can't emphasize discipline enough. Football is a game of discipline. No matter what position you play, and with discipline and with the work ethic is really what I really pride myself in, and being able to know that if I'm going against you, I'm better than you. I put in the time, I put in the effort to to know what I'm doing, to be able to get that edge on you, and know that if I'm going to block you, I'm going to block you. If I need to get around you, I know I'm getting around you because I put in the hard work, I put in the dedication, and really really just believing in yourself and knowing what you're capable of and using that to your advantage.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And with with that being said, with discipline, um, there's a lot of carryover, right?
Hmm.
Uh, that discipline that I'm sure you had to do some of those early morning sessions,
Oh yeah.
whether it's weight training or conditioning or what have you. But that discipline that you learn in football and that commitment that you make, it almost makes work life seem
Oh
like
yeah.
nothing,
Like
right?
nothing. Seriously though. Seriously though.
Like what? Oh, 40 hours? Oh, that's it?
That's nothing. 9 to 5.
Right.
9 to 5 compared
Yeah.
to 6 to midnight. 6 a.m. to midnight.
Yeah. I would say some of the skills and strategies and discipline that you learn in American football can set you up for some greater things to achieve in
Oh, without a doubt.
non-football life. With all those experiences. So
Yeah, those
that's good
lifelong
stuff.
lessons that you take from football are extremely beneficial. As I mentioned, the discipline. Um, it shows you leadership, and not only leadership and how to lead your team, but it also shows you how to follow a leader and know that and that goes for life. Like you may be there may be things at work or just in life in general where you may need to lead, and there might be opportunities where you just might need to sit back and follow what's going on. So football
Right.
really allows you to use teamwork. Um, it allows you to be able to handle success and handle failure because it ain't always roses. Sometimes you're
Yeah.
gonna fail.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna lose a game. Sometimes you're gonna go through a hardship. Like my sophomore year of at Cerritos, I tore my ACL, and that was a failure that
Mm.
I thought I'd never
Oh,
recover from.
that happened at Cerritos. I
Yeah,
thought that happened later.
no, it happened at my sophomore year at Cerritos. So football was able to teach me to handle success as well as failures. So
Let's talk about your recruiting process at Cerritos. What were some of the schools that actually showed you some attention, some love while you were at Cerritos that were ready to go to the next
yeah,
level?
so when I was at Cerritos, so some of the offers I had from Cerritos was Kansas State, San Jose State. Um, I had an opportunity to. I had a crazy opportunity for Stanford that didn't work out. Um, who else? There was a couple D2 schools, Northern Colorado, which I think is D1AA. Um, there was a couple of NAIA schools like Baker uh, that I talked to. So it was quite a bit.
Right. And let's talk about that a little bit, Josh. Let's talk about NAI. You ended up choosing Baker University in Kansas. As you know, I'm an alum of University of Kansas in
Yep,
Lawrence,
yep.
Kansas, which is only 10 miles from Baker
Right
University.
down the street,
You
basically.
know, what was that like for you to go from, a prestigious high school in Cerro Gardena, in California, winning state championships? A lot of your boys are going to Power Five schools, and then
Right.
you know, and then for you, you end up choosing NAIA. What was that like for you? And can you kind of share with our audience what NAIA is like?
Yeah. So I mean, going through the process.
And what is NAIA like? We have NCAA, which everybody's familiar with,
Right, right, right.
but what does NAIA actually stand for?
Man, that's a good question. How do you even go?
Yeah.
Uh,
National Athletic something, right?
yeah, yeah,
Intercollegiate.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Man, I feel
Sorry to
horrible.
put you on the spot like that. I should actually know that, but we just know it's a different league, right? It's
Yeah,
not the
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
NCAA.
so you got
It's a
your
different
D
league.
ones, you got your D1 double A's, D2s, and then you got your NAIA D3s. Which I mean, going through the process and with recruiting and as you mentioned, going going to a prestigious high school with everyone going here and there. Um, from high school, everyone going to where they went. I ended up going to Cerritos, like we mentioned, and even then it was kind of like, oh man, I got to take a different route. It was kind of hard, but then going through Cerritos and going through that opportunity, it really was a different kind of mode. It was a different kind of grind, and I was thankful to be able to experience that. And then even then, being at Cerritos, seeing my teammates go into the Power Five schools, as you mentioned, and different big names, and for me to go to Baker University in Kansas, it was a little difficult at first. I'm not gonna lie, because everyone grows up thinking like, oh, D1 is it. If you're not going D1, then you're done for. You might as well hang it up. And it's really sad after going through the experience. It's really sad that people look at it like that because um, from D1 down to NAIA, D3, even D2, it's all the same. It's all, as long as you put in the work, as long as you putting in those hours, the result is going to be the same, no matter what.
Right. At the end of the day, you finished there with your bachelor's degree,
Mm-hmm.
and that automatically elevates your opportunities,
Right, right, right.
and now you're working with folks who are in need of certain services with mental health, and I think it's great. You maximized, your opportunity, and that's really kind of one of the core goals for the American Football Institute is to let folks know that there's more than one way to skin the cat. You don't have to be at
Uh,
a
exactly,
Power Five school to succeed, right?
exactly, exactly. Like my
So
my
we'll
uh,
go on to
my,
go ahead. I'm
just
sorry.
my bachelor's degree is spelled the same as somebody's bachelor's degree from SC. The bachelor
Well,
is still
the
spelled.
interesting thing about Baker University that a lot of people didn't probably don't know, but I went to University of Kansas, which is one of the two bigger schools in the state of Kansas.
Right.
KU, which is University of Kansas in Lawrence, and you got K State over in Manhattan, Kansas. Those are like the two big name schools in the state, right?
Yep. Yep.
But Baker University is actually the top rated academic school in the state of Kansas,
No, that's facts.
um, for so many years. So yes, they didn't have the prestige and the big giant crowds, which, you know, arguably KU that probably has had some similar crowds to Baker recently.
Yeah, for sure.
But but you were able to go to the number one rated academic institution in the state of Kansas and earn
Yep,
your bachelor's, which it carries weight.
for sure.
Employers and folks like that, they know they know if that school was a legitimate school that prepared you for for the job market. So
Yeah,
good
exactly.
stuff, man. We'll go on to the next question, Josh.
Yeah, yeah.
What are the basic skills required, or what are the basic skills required to be a football player? Like someone wakes up today in New Zealand or Australia that's not familiar with football, or South Africa, UK. Like what are the basic skills, and kind of in that same line of questions, Josh, or
Yeah,
answers. What sports did you play before playing football that kind of prepared you for football?
yeah, yeah. So really, just hand-eye coordination for sure. Balance is key uh, on the football field. Being able to hold your core and have that balance is definitely a necessity. Um, Going to what you mentioned as far as like other sports that I played a little bit of basketball, which was beneficial with hand-eye coordination, bouncing the ball, and being able to catch a football or throw a football. And then I also actually played hockey, which I think was
Oh, hockey.
which I think was a
Not
great.
too many Pacific Islanders or Tongans playing hockey. Well,
Not
tell
at
me
all,
about that. That's
not at all.
an interesting one. How does a Tongan American end up playing hockey?
So funny story. It all started in elementary school. One of my what was it? It was my fourth grade teacher. Just so happened to be the head hockey coach at our elementary school, and there was those tryouts, and I ended up seeing the flyer, and I'm like, that'd be interesting. I mean, I didn't think nothing of it. Didn't think I'd play as long as I did. And tried out, ended up making the team, and played for 5, 6, 7 years after that. I played
Wow,
fourth grade up until my freshman year of high school.
wow.
So it really,
That says a lot to me because you're one of the few players that I know of that played all three levels pretty much.
right.
You played O line, D line.
Yep.
You played fullback, linebacker. You
Yep.
played a little bit of safety.
Mm-hmm.
Ran the
Everywhere.
ball.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you were like uh, the Iron Man
Right. For real though.
of American football because it was like somebody got hurt. Oh, put Josh Finau over there.
Exactly. Everywhere. So,
And I'll never forget watching you play O line. I'm like,
oh man.
they put Josh Finau at two. What were you in high school? 235,
No,
two forty,
I was probably 220
220.
playing
Wow.
guard. Yeah. So that was
As you mentioned those different skills that's needed, the one that really stands out to me, if I had to describe one word to describe Josh Finau, it was toughness.
oh yeah.
You
Gotta be
you were
tough.
just you were definitely so tough, and you weren't the tallest guy. What are you, about 6 feet?
Yep.
Yep, you're around 6 feet. And it's not like you were a super tall guy, or you know you weren't that heavy in high school, but
Hmm.
because of your mental toughness and your physical toughness, I feel like that really kind of highlighted who you are as a player.
For sure. I appreciate it.
Definitely. We're going to. We have a couple more questions, Josh. I know you got to get back to taking care of some other things, but
Mhm.
I won't hold you up. I promise. I won't
That's
hold you
all
up
good.
too long. But let's go. Let's keep it going. What's the most important factor that determines, from your perspective, to become a pro football player? You've had, although you haven't played much or any pro football yourself, you know a lot of pro guys.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, as a matter of fact, you have relatives who are pros.
Yep.
Like Toby,
Yeah.
Toby Falitao in
He's,
rugby.
yeah. He's a man.
That's a relative of yours. Probably the one that most people. Well, yeah. I mean, Toby. I think he's still playing, isn't he? I mean,
Yep. Yep. Yeah. He's still in Wales.
he was the number eight in captain for Wales international rugby, and I think he plays for some prestigious clubs. You also have a relation with close relative with the big dog over there at Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
Man.
Vita Vea.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
You know,
Tom Brady's little homie.
that's Tom Brady's a little homie from the Bay, right?
Yep. Yep.
He's out there representing. So, from your
For sure.
standpoint, what are some of the things that you can kind of talk about when it comes to some of the things it takes to be a pro?
Really, you just gotta have the will to go forth with the journey that comes with wanting to be a professional football player. You definitely gotta want it. You gotta to put your blood, sweat, and tears into football and let it carry you into that level. I've watched all all the teammates that I played with at Sarah. I watched them uh, be the first ones in the weight room and the last ones off the field every day. So it's really just about being determined, being just knowing that you that's what you want to do and putting your all into it. Really,
There's nothing like having a burning desire, right?
exactly, exactly,
Yeah. I mean, that's the little cliches, in sports and football in general. We're all about cliches, and
for sure.
one of
Yep.
my favorite, one of my favorite is the only place where success comes before work
The
is in the
dictionary.
dictionary,
Yeah.
right?
That's a fact.
So you gotta work. I mean, some guys win the genetic lottery. Okay, great. But even guys who are gifted, if they don't work,
Yeah,
eventually catch up with them, right?
exactly. Exactly. You gotta be
We'll
able to
go on to
sacrifice.
our next question. Yeah, sacrifice for sure. How has American football shaped your life so far? I know you've touched on this a little bit, but maybe if you might have some more insight on that.
No, yeah. So I mean, just like I mentioned earlier, it, American football is full of lifelong lessons that you take with you, way beyond the football field. Um, that discipline, as I've mentioned multiple times, that's something that's really shaped me to be the person that I am. Football has provided me with plenty of opportunities, as you know, it's a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know, and football
Yeah,
has uh, has blessed me with those opportunities to know a tremendous amount of people that provide different opportunities, not only for work but for friendship. Um, you get that brotherhood through football. Really, as like I mentioned earlier, being able to handle success and failure. Um, it's really, as cliche as it is, it's really football is a lifelong lesson. Really,
yeah, and Josh, the reason why I keep touching on that particular type of question is that nowadays, almost, I'm not sure what the percentage is exactly, but what I do know for a fact is a lot of people are afraid to put their kids into American football.
right?
And, one of my goals also is to promote this game for what it is. It's not easy. It's definitely not for everyone. And it's definitely a hard sport. You got to be tough and you
Yeah.
can't be afraid to work. But when I weigh it out, all in all, I think it's more beneficial than it is to be harmful. Would you agree?
No, without a doubt, and I can't emphasize enough like the lessons and everything that comes with playing American football, from the structure down to the sacrifices you make. It's football is something that'll always be with you.
Great, man. Let's check out and see how many questions we got here left for you, Josh. We'll go on to our next one. So, at the end of our questions, this is our final question, Josh. We always have our big three. And the big three for us is just tips or advice. You've been giving tips and advice throughout this whole conversation. But I just like for you to pick three things. Like if you were telling somebody from overseas or even somebody here locally who was thinking about playing football or wanting to play American football, what were those big three things that you want to emphasize with those folks?
I think really the 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 top tip that I would have for number one would be just to be disciplined. If you feel like you have the work ethic, if you feel like you have those leadership uh, skills and you're ready to sacrifice and put forth that effort in order to play football, I would encourage you to move forward with it and pursue it and use it to your advantage for those life lessons. So definitely uh, be disciplined. Um, Another tip would definitely be um, just just having the passion for it and utilizing that passion to your advantage, to really take football by the reins and allow it to take you to new heights. And then lastly, I think the biggest tip that I really um, I tell the youth that I work with now that I've kind of learned from you and other community leaders within our community is just to dream big. If football is something that you feel like you want to do and something that you really want to pursue, then dream big about it, and be about it, and really move forward with what's needed to be done in order to be successful with football, and allow football to 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 take you where you want to be, and in life, and in general. So I would say that's probably the couple tips that I have for anyone wanting to pursue football.
There you go, folks. You know, Josh is a perfect example to me. Um, you know, a lot of times when people are talking to sportscasters or sports in general, uh, almost feels like it's just famous people talking about people to be more famous.
Right, right, right.
And what I love about your story, Josh, is you can find success through this pathway in American football, and success doesn't is not just defined by being in the NFL or being a pro in sports. You know, we have so many avenues. Like yourself, you earned your degree, you're able to, you know, earn a living, utilizing that degree, and that to me, that's a success story. You know, you're able to get your school paid for through football. You know, the one final thing I'd like to share with, like for you to share a little bit about is, can you tell me your experience and the feeling when you graduated from Baker University and kind of the look on your parents' face? You know, because you're the first in your family to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that degree. When I mean your family, your nuclear family, mom,
yeah,
dad,
yeah,
siblings, right?
yeah. Nah, it was
Kind of,
the feeling was amazing, really. Just to be able to hear my name called for my bachelor's, and turn around and look into the stands, and see my parents crying, and them uh, really being able to take a moment to see the sacrifice that was made, really uh, bloom, and everything, that not only the sacrifices that I made throughout playing football and school, but the sacrifices they made coming here, and giving not only myself but my siblings that opportunity to utilize what we got going on here in the states, and the feeling was amazing. Just being able to make them proud, and utilize American football as that uh that stepping stone to get me to that feeling, and being able to make my parents proud was awesome.
yeah. And the great thing about that, what I love most about that story is that you created a trend in your family. You
Right,
know,
right,
you graduated from college, and who graduated next?
right. My sister Ma, she then graduated. My little brother Mark, he ended up utilizing football as a stepping stone for him as well to get to where he is. So it's been awesome.
So Tongan, as a first generation Tongan American, you know, you became kind of like the Moses, you know, of your family with going to college, right?
For sure. Yep.
And then your sister followed you, and then your brother, and I think it's awesome, Josh. You know, sharing your story with us. I know it's not always easy, sacrificing your time and investing into our show. We really truly do appreciate you, Josh, and
No, yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
look forward to your continued success. And don't forget, Josh, let people know to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do.
And follow us. We have a Facebook group now, also called the American Football Institute group. Please join our Facebook group. And hey, like I said, I look forward to the next step in your journey of success. And
I
thank you for
appreciate it.
sharing your football journey, your American football journey with us, Josh. And you be blessed, okay?
You as well. Thank you again for the opportunity.
All right, now you take care.